lost the joy and passion behind having natural hair. I'm kind of just like over my hair.
I gotta go where the money was at, okay?
Reason number 4, cause I got reasons, sis.
Let's talk about it. Why are so many Black women walking away from the natural hair content? It's deeper than just hair routines. From burnout to backlash, the truth may shock you, and it's time that we unpack it. So let's be real. Here are 9 well thought out, right? I really thought about this reason to why the Team Natural community struggled or failed based on cultural shifts, industry trends, and creator perspectives. So make sure you get a pen and paper out because we're going to get deep into this. And make sure you let me know in the chat what you think about, like the little cartoon version of me, Sindal. And let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, because we're going to animate one to go with my voice. So let me know in the chat. Number 1, unrealistic beauty standards rebranded is what I like to call it. So what started as a movement of self-love turned into another aesthetic to chase. Perfect curl patterns, expensive product routines, and Instagram worthy pictures, right? You had to get the pic, right? Hair replaced authenticity, and you were pressuring in so many ways. You were pressuring women to fit into the new mold. So it wasn't like, oh, we're just doing this thing and we're being set free. No, you went from one beauty standard to another. And I'm sorry, but there is nobody that shames you more than a Black woman who wears her hair curly. If you decide to wear your hair straight, then your identity is questioned, your pride and your race is questioned, all of the things. So there was a clear separation from the inside, and I want this to be the type of video where we have accountability, right? So I want you to tell me, out of these 9 steps, when white people or somebody from another race had anything to do with it. This is all self-inflicted. Number 2 is going to be texturism within the community, where looser curl patterns and 3C hair often got more praises and visibility. Women with kinkier textures, which y'all like to call 4B and 4C, felt excluded or undervalued, creating division in a space that was supported and supposed to be all inclusive. Again, you guys make sure you support Simple Apothecary. All of the links are in the description box below. You will not be sorry. That was a shameless plug, but let's get back to it. Like I said, when it comes to your curl patterns and the textures, most looser patterns were praised, right? And made to feel like everything was best if your curl pattern was looser. But that's simply because instead of anybody learning the true meaning of hair, everybody was angry, shaming each other, putting each other in boxes, all because a man named Andre Walker made up the curl typing chart to sell his hair product that is now discontinued. But Black women made the curl typing chart their identity, to the point that now in 2025 is getting better. But I remember at the core of it, it would be like, hi, my name is Shalissa, I'm 4C. It's like, girl. And if you dare to come up against it or say, hey, that's not real, there was so much yelling and arguing and so much fighting, which led to number 3, burnout from constant maintenance. Because even though you think that you're doing all of these great things for your culture and it's making you super argumentative, the truth of the matter is you're not making it easier for yourself to do all of these hacks and skip all of the steps you are actually supposed to follow. You end up making hair care way harder than it has to be. So it was really easy for you to get burnout. Natural hair can be really high maintenance, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So most people that are, for example, within the 7-day challenge that used to be within the Team Natural community, you guys, when they follow my scientific patterns, their wash days go from 4 to 6 hours or 3 to 4 days to about 30 to 45 minutes tops. And this is a fact, right? So that made it so everybody got burnout because natural hair, again, can be high maintenance. Wash days, styling, and upkeep can feel completely overwhelming because the techniques and patterns that were followed were all made up and really unrealistic. So the amount of time, energy, and money required became extremely exhausting for many because it's not normal. Most people find that when they switch over to doing it more the professional based way, they're saving so much money. In the next video we have coming up, I'm going to share a couple of different reviews with you with the people that have hair past waist length that are like, oh my gosh, man, I used to run through bottles upon bottles of shampoo on a weekly basis or every couple of weeks, and now I've been on the same bottle of shampoo for the last 4 months. It's a thing, right? So let's keep going. Number 4, your lack of representation in the product marketing. Because the Team Natural community, I don't care what anybody says, it was never about actual hair care and science. Never. It was always about product pushing because all of the different things that they taught you, all of the different patterns and techniques. So even though most people get really, really, really confused and think that, oh my God, I need this product gives me sloop. The reality of it is there's nothing natural about your Team Natural practices because you can't accomplish any of these things unless you have these products layered on. So it was really, really, really excessive targeting. It was targeting Black women specifically because they were the ones who were falling for the okie doke. Many natural hair brands didn't showcase a range of textures, especially the kinkiest ones. And that made the community feel unseen and underappreciated. And this, again, is going to be a really unpopular opinion. So smile, take some notes, and do your research. Don't get mad. But when you really, really do your research and you think about it, when at the end of the day, the whole Team Natural community was a product pushing thing, and it was all meant to sell you hair products and make money. So if the key was always about making money, right, and they ended up having the YouTubers make the products, promote the products, because the truth be told, if they weren't teaching you, oh, do this twist out with this product, then you would have never bought the product because you would have never heard of it if it wasn't viral on a video with millions of views, right? So once everybody started to buy the product, they also noticed that different habits and patterns of Black women. I love us, but one pattern that we do have, let me tell you something, a Black woman will return some stuff. Do you hear me? They will return some stuff. So the bottom line was struggling. And the truth of the matter is, because the products aren't really that amazing and because you're getting fatigued, like we just talked about in one of the last ones, then you're not wanting to come and spend that much money, and you're getting refunds, returning the products and things of that nature. So when they sit down and looked at their bottom line, they were like, you know what, we're going to expand this to other textures, other groups that aren't really complaining as much, that aren't really as problematic. I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with them. I'm just telling you what it is. So then once that ended up happening, then they ended up shifting their marketing because now they have a different marketing. Other women of other races were like, oh man, I have curly hair too, let me use these products. And they went with the group of people that gave them the less problems. They went with the group of people that were least problematic. But I digress. Number 5 is going to be the shift towards convenience over culture. So when it comes to protective style, wig, and when silk presses began to gain popularity, many opted for ease and versatility over staying fully natural. So the focus shifted from natural or nothing to do whatever works for you, because all of the fatigue and all of the other things had set in. People got tired of arguing and going back and forth with each other on a regular basis. So they were like, you know what, we have to find something else to do. And whether people want to admit it or not, the same team natural people that was all crazy were going to cosmetologists like myself behind the scenes and seeing that their hair felt 10 times better when when the bonds were set in another way and they weren't doing the wash and goes and twist outs and all of the things. So then once they noticed that all of those things beginning to change, they're like, okay, I'm gonna do what works best for me. Everybody's different. Do y'all remember the shift? Because at the very beginning, y'all, it was like, no, this is how it has to go. And if you don't wear your hair like this, you ashamed to be black and you don't love to be black. But right before everybody started getting ready to switch over, it was like, what works for you when everybody's different. Which leads us to number 6, toxic policing in the space. There is no environment more toxic online than the team natural community. I've never seen a group of women more angry and more disrespectful simply over hair with strangers. Natural hair spaces sometimes became so nasty and judgmental. If someone relaxed their hair, wore a wig, or flat ironed it, they were called not natural enough. The kind of policing drove people away. You felt more shame in around other black women than the shame that everybody's saying that they had at work when they wear their hair in a way that doesn't look good. Number 7 is going to be content fatigue among creators, because whether y'all want to believe it or not, these women did not know what they were talking about. They were not educated in any of these areas. They were making things up on a daily basis. Every time they turned on the camera, they were making up something new, putting sweet potatoes in your hair, putting Rice Krispie treats in your hair, putting pickle juice in your hair, all types of stuff, right? These are the things they're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And then I start saying stuff like, okay, all y'all team naturalists, why don't y'all go to a hairstylist, get y'all hair straightened, and let's see what it really is. And what happened? Girl, they went in to see the Cosmo, got their hair straightened, and was like, oh my God. But I'm going to ask you, I'm not going to make this overall statement. Are black women the most accountable group? Or are black women kind of the group that's like, I don't remember, that wasn't me. Like, black women were not about to get on YouTube and admit that everything that they taught y'all was pulled directly out of their booty. They was not going to do that. It wasn't going to be a thing. So instead, everybody said, you know what, we're just going to do something different. Like I said, creators got tired of repeating the same wash day, twist out, and product review videos. The niche felt limited, especially for those who wanted to evolve up past hair content, because myself included, when you first get on YouTube, especially when like post COVID, because before COVID hit, before the vid hit, nobody thought that YouTube was even a real job, and everybody looked at YouTubers like, oh, you need to get a real job, or you do your little YouTube channel. But once everybody realized how their jobs weren't permanent in any way, shape, or form, people were like, oh my God, I have to do something different. And that's this flood of new people on YouTube. But it has not always been like that, right? And so creators at first, like, they came making that hair content, it was fun, but after a while you lose the fun in it, especially when you're getting into a field like hair care. You see, in my opinion, this is a problem, and this is coming from a cosmetologist, research scientist, herbalist, holistic practitioner, all of the things. And it's frustrating, and it happened because hair, even though the field of cosmetology is right there with dermatology and trichology, is all the same circuit, cosmetology is not respected in any way, shape, or form. So everybody just was like, oh, I can get into cosmetology, and all of these women got on social media and played cosmetologists, which is equivalent to getting online and playing trichologist. playing dermatologists just making video after video, and y'all follow them. Why? Because nobody really respects the field of cosmetology as a real scientific field, because none of you would just get on here and randomly start listening to girls who is like, I taught myself dermatology in my room. Girl, do cut your own scalp open like this. Like, nobody's doing that. Why? Because you respect the field of dermatology. But because most black women do not respect the field of of cosmetology, for whatever reason, we won't go there. There is a lack of respect. Nobody really cared that much. So again, creators just got to the point where they received the big head because there was no policing. There were no gates. They can make whatever video they wanted, and if a professional who actually had the credentials to make the video, our videos would be completely opposite of theirs. Our videos would be like, no, don't do that. But because our things didn't match what they said, of course, because they wouldn't know, because they didn't go to school, right? Because our things didn't match, then nobody wanted to listen to the professionals. The professionals were the haters. So you know what the professionals did? The professionals either moved to a different profession, or they put red tape around themselves, and y'all can't even find them. You have to know a friend that know a friend that know a friend to find a cosmetologist like myself, and that is the God's honest truth. Number 8 is going to be the lack of financial recognition. Many black women built the natural hair movement, right? But brands didn't always compensate them fairly. Non-black influencers were sometimes paid more to promote the same exact products. And again, I know that this is going to be hard for a lot of people to hear, but when we are talking about business, this is a business. They made it personal so they can buy your product, so you can buy the products. It is about feeling. That's what the creators were meant to do. The creators were meant to create content that pulled on your emotions, that pulled on your pain points, that made you feel like, oh my God, they get me. Oh my God, they understand me. Yes, I'm gonna buy this product. And it put an emotional bond to you with that product. There was no scientific basis behind you purchasing the product. You didn't understand your hair, your texture in any way, shape, or form. So you just went out and bought something because you cared nothing about porosity. You wasn't picking the right products or anything. You was just following these girls, and then you doing refund after refund after refund. So when they look at the bottom line, and when they look at everything and they say, okay, why are we losing so much money? Well, they saw that they were losing so much money because their main group of people that they were putting their money towards were black women, and they were losing a lot of money with black women. We could talk about that in depth a little later. These are not my words and my thoughts, but theirs, and the data shows it. So they focus on another demographic of people. It's literally the same thing, y'all. Don't get mad at me when I say this, but it's the same thing when you go into the grocery store. If you go to the Walmart in the hood, everything is locked up. But you go to a Walmart in the suburbs, there's barely anything locked up. Like where I live, there's nothing locked up except for like laundry detergent and like spray paint. Everything else is a free-for-all, and everybody has to ask themselves why that is, right? So the market and the people that they were targeting, the targeting changed. We have to ask ourselves why the targeting changed. And I'm not saying that that's okay, because that part is whack. That part doesn't have anything to do with team natural or curly hair or straight hair. For me, they just do black creators like that, period. Like the price that somebody who's not my skin color is going to be offered is okay. I'll give you a perfect example. Is one creator, it was one brand, they did tape-in extensions. They offered me a deal for tape-in extensions. I told them my price. They were like, oh no, that's too much. We can do like $900. But then one of my other friends that is a YouTuber, and she has the same amount of subscribers and view count, like same amount of engagement that I have, but she's a different skin color, and they offered her $5,000. So that's definitely really true, but I don't think that has anything to do with like Team Natural. That's just, girl. And that is leading us to number 9, which is it got co-opted by capitalism. The original message was empowerment and self-acceptance, and it got lost in the sea of product pushers, sponsored posts, and trendy hair challenges. It became more about monetization than a movement. So nobody cared about the science of hair. Nobody was focused on teaching you how to really do your hair. Nobody was focused on how to really teach you how to track your porosity. Nobody taught you what your skin cell turnover cycle is, because most of them don't know. Nobody taught you not to put anything on your scalp but shampoo. They taught you the opposite. They taught you to barely shampoo the hair because your scalp doesn't produce oil, so you have to put a whole bunch of oil on it. Everything that the Team Natural community taught was the opposite of what the scientific community knows about the human body. And instead of black women taking control of their hair with the natural community and saying, okay, I take control of my hair, I can wear my hair however I want, curly, straight, blown out, I can wear my hair however I want. They said, no, we don't have to wear your hair like that. We're gonna wear our hair curly. And if you a black woman and you don't believe in everything we believe, and you don't think everything that we think, you're ashamed to be black and you cannot sit with us. That, my dear, was the fall of the Team Natural community, because a house divided amongst itself can never stand. And maybe not from day 1, but probably by day 5, the Team Natural community was a house divided amongst itself, and all of the professionals that can actually help, that actually had the answers, were all pushed outside of that house that was divided amongst itself. So you all were trapped inside of this house with different compartments, while the people who actually had the ability to help you were the ones locked outside and demonized. So this is now the time frame where you have to pick apart and figure out what you want to focus on. Do you want to follow the hacks and find people who are still making the hacks, or are you going to follow the science, because it's never changed?